Well, hello everybody. It's Briston and Latondra here, and we are back from a brief sabbatical, I guess you could say. Well, not really. We didn't get much rest, but last week was the 4th of July, so we did take a week off, and we enjoyed family.
Oh, yes.
That's what we love is family, and we had some visitors to come in from out of town, and we really enjoyed the company.
Oh, yes.
So we hope that all of you who did celebrate the 4th of July last week enjoyed yourselves. We hope that you enjoyed your families, the food, fireworks if that's what you do, just all of it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we're trying to get back on track now, and
as you know, our mission is to encourage, it is to equip, it is to empower entrepreneurs who desire to better lead and encourage their teams from a biblical worldview. And if you have been paying attention, we have the 2 P's that every leader needs to discern. That was from last week. Hopefully by this time you still remember those 2 P's. It's potential and it's proven. And so this deep dive, we really want to go into it with you to help you to be able to discern the difference and to be able to be more intentional with your development, with your personal growth and development. From that email that we sent out, there is a quote that Ton wrote, and as I was talking to her about it, I said, you know what, this really is what we should focus on for this deep dive. And it says, the bottom line is that if you don't steward your potential with intentionality, it never moves beyond anything other than a possibility. Let me read it again. The bottom line is that if you don't steward your potential with intentionality, it never moves beyond anything other than a possibility.
now I want to just interrupt for a second and just say, I know that typically you're used to us doing a deep dive on our most recent blog post. Since this is a post from a week ago, you may want a refresher so that you can understand the context that we're coming from. And just to recap, those 2 P's, potential and proven, what exactly are they? So when we talk about potential, we're talking about the possibilities that are lying dormant within us. That's what we refer to as potential. And proven means that you have some evidence that backs up the fact that you want to move forward.
You have some proof.
Proof. Yeah, it's evidence. Let me see the evidence. It means that you are being proactive and not just having good intentions, as we always say.
One of the things that I really like about the blog is that it reminds me of what faith is. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. You see, it talks about faith being evidence. True faith is proven. It's the same thing with potential. Potential without action is just simply possibility. Faith without action is dead, just like the body without the spirit is dead. So it is good and well that we have potential. We all have potential. One of the things that we discovered as we were working through this blog is that sometimes our potential, there are some limitations that come up. We were talking about experiences. And what I mean by experiences is that there are unfulfilled dreams, broken promises, disappointments. And because of life's experiences, we no longer want to dream. We no longer want to pursue that burning desire that was in our hearts when we were children. And that's what I was saying to Tom, what's the difference generally between children and adults? Is that children, They want to become a doctor. They want to become a scientist. The sky is the limit. However, by the time we become adults, sometimes those dreams starts to fade. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
You know, as adults, we're faced with this thing called reality. You know, reality hits, and reality has a way of knocking the life out of you, knocking the wind out of you, and really discouraging you and causing you to settle in a place of familiarity and comfort. And it prevents us really from moving that potential from that state of dormancy, you know, where you're just not doing anything with it, to actually being realized as more than a possibility. Now this potential has become a reality, you know, and a lot of us fail to move from point A to point B. You know?
Another limitation that we see with potential is the lack of exposure.
Oh yeah, I like that one. You know, there's a truth, and the truth is sometimes we're not in the type of environment that is conducive to growth, which means that we're keeping the wrong type of company, we're watching the wrong types of shows, we are reading the wrong types of books, if we even bother to read at all. We're just not in the environment that is fertile, you know, for us to actually grow. We don't have the right type of exposure. We don't have mentors, people who have walked the path and who are able to, you know, kind of light a fire up under us and encourage us to move in that direction.
You know, one of the things that we'll be doing next week, Tuesday, is the 8 gap traps. And if you have not yet signed up, I would really encourage you, because that is going to be an exposure and a learning experience that you do not want to miss. Another limitation is misplaced or conflicting priorities. One of the things we discussed earlier in this deep dive is when we become adults, just life experiences and priorities just started to change. When we were children, we had our parents, we had our teachers who had a plan for us to reach our full potential. When we become adults, we have children, we have jobs, we have families, and for some reason we stop growing. For some reason we stop being intentional in making sure that we're gaining the knowledge, the information that will help us to truly learn and to truly grow and to truly develop. And that shouldn't be. Again, going back to the point that Tan made about the conducive environment, we are responsible to create that environment. We're responsible to find that environment. We cannot depend on others to bring that environment to us. Yes, when we were children, others were responsible for us and responsible to us, and they help us in the process. But now that we're adults, we must put away those childish thinking and embrace that which is of an adult, and that is being responsible for our growth.
Yeah, and so it's always good to take a good look at your list of priorities and see what are your top 5 priorities, and then examine them and say, do they actually promote growth? You know, in light of where I desire to be, in light of who I desire to become, because we remember we want to become before we do.
That's correct.
And that's what growth is all about. It's not about activity, although activity is a part of it, but the growth is not about the activity and just meeting a goal. It's about a journey of you becoming who God has created you to be fully. And so when you look at your list of priorities, how many of those top priorities actually promote a lifestyle of intentional growth? That'll tell you a lot about yourself.
And one of the ways in which to measure your priorities is just by looking at how much time you're spending around a particular activity. If you should take the time just to reflect on your day, and you start to look at, okay, what did I do this morning? What did I do at lunch? What did I do this evening? One of the things that I'm so proud of is when Tanya is living intentionally, is when she's taking time to grow, is when she's taking time to exercise, when she's taking time to improve herself.
Oh, yeah, exercise.
and that is what it takes to be intentional. That's what it takes to be proven. That's what it takes to be proactive. And that's what proven is. It's stepping up to the plate. Yeah. And don't feel like you have to have a certain amount of self-discipline. You have to be this person. No, just take the first step. Wherever you're at, just make the first move. You will be amazed that as soon as you get started in living intentionally, that momentum starts to build. And day after day, the consistency results in you becoming more and more intentional.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, I think about, you know, in science class, we talk about potential energy versus kinetic energy. And potential energy is stored energy. You know, so if you consider a big boulder that's sitting at the edge of a cliff, there's energy. There's energy inside of that boulder, but it's just sitting there stored up doing nothing really. But it's when somehow you're able to get that boulder moving and it goes over the cliff, it turns into kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is energy that is in motion. And so living a life of intentionality is us moving from potential to kinetic, pretty much, if you were to look at it in that analogy. And I want to actually give a challenge to those of you who are leaders. It's good for us, you know, to take that responsibility for ourselves. I want to challenge you though, if you oversee any type of team, if there's anyone who looks to you as a mentor, any type of leadership position, I want you to understand that you have a responsibility to challenge people to move from a place of potentiality, if you want to say. You could test it, you know, what they say they want to do, what they say they want, are they stepping up to the plate? And if they're not, if they're making excuses, a good leader does not accept excuses. I mean, it's a hard thing, but a really good leader does not simply accept excuses. A good leader influences the person's decision. I mean, leadership is influence, as John Maxwell says, nothing more, nothing less. So a leader has the ability to influence a person's character, decisions. And if a person is just bent on living in excuses, you might want to reconsider how much of your energy you're actually investing in that person. Because basically they are saying no. Even though the mouth is saying yes, the actions, the evidence says no. And so you're giving so much of yourself to someone's no when you have a yes waiting on you to come and invest in them. So as a leader, challenge people. Don't accept the excuses, because that's how you get your people to grow and to become developed into the people that they're supposed to be.
So what are you going to do with this information? What are you going to do with this deep dive? One of the ways in which we are looking to see who the proven are is, I want to say it again, is to see how many people are going to step up and take those opportunities that we present before them to go deeper, to be more committed. I challenge you, we challenge you this time to really look at your life and see what changes need to be made, what effort needs to be taken to educate yourself, to give you more exposure, and to really have the experiences that will help you to become better and to grow and help others to develop as well.
So basically, where is it that you desire to be? And what are you doing about it? That's what it boils down to. Think about it.
Say it again, that's good.
Where is it that you desire to be? And what are you doing about it?
We'd love to hear your responses. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and we're especially looking forward to those who will be signing up for the training that's coming next week, Tuesday.
And for you, those of you who have signed up, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. All right.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.